later, Walter Gretzky is here to share with us his story of hearing loss. We'll have details on a new hearing clinic opening in Calgary. Well, Wayne Gretzky's father, Walter, has a pretty remarkable story all his own, and it includes dealing with hearing loss for a large portion of his life. Coming up, he'll tell us why he's on board with a new campaign to get people to get their hearing checked. Your vision is getting worse? See an optometrist. Your hearing is getting worse. You may not even notice it, but now a new group of clinics is opening up across Canada to address this growing need. Joining us are Robert Oswald with HearAtLast and Walter Gretzky, who is a spokesman for the group. Thank you for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you.
And Mr. Gretzky, I'll start with you. Tell us about your issues with hearing loss and how it all started.
I was working for Bell Canada. I was a lineman in construction, and I had a frame came flying out of a manhole in the street, and it hit the back of my head, split my helmet in half, and you know they don't break a safety helmet. Fractured my skull, cut all my nerves, everything. Consequently, I'm totally deaf on my right ear.
And you also have some hearing loss in your other ear as well. Yes. And that accident was in what year?
1964.
Okay, so what has it been like to spend more than 4 decades with hearing loss?
Well, I just get used to it, but the only problem is people, if they're sitting on my right side, I'm totally deaf. If they say something to me, if they're soft tone of voice, I don't answer them. They think I'm ignoring them on purpose. For example, just very quickly, I went to Hamilton from Brantford with a man I was driving, and I never knew the man. And it was some appointment we had there. We came back, and my wife said, "Well, how was the trip?" He said, "Fine, but there's something wrong with Walter." She said, "Why?" "Well, I tried to talk to him all the way there and back. He wouldn't answer me." Is he upset at something? And he spoke very softly. I didn't even know he was speaking.
Well, obviously, this other guy should have been driving so that you could hear him. You should have been in the passenger seat. Now, Robert, Walter's hearing loss is typical of his generation in that it had to do with an industrial accident.
Very much so.
But a lot of young people nowadays are dealing with hearing loss. And why is that?
Well, 10% of the entire population in Canada and abroad suffers from some form of hearing loss. And what's escalating the numbers today are MP3 players, cell phones. There's been a lot of data published recently on 55 minutes of usage or more on a cell phone can lead to hearing loss, generally in one ear. MP3 players are played at excessive volumes because the earbuds just don't fit properly, so everybody and their brother is coming up with new designs. And one of the products that we're launching is this new instant platform that enables us to mold the product instantly. It's a silicone process, and what we end up having is a series of different molds that are molded to your ear, but we do it right on the spot. So what ends up happening is we take a stock mold, we inject silicone into it, I'll use air, in the mold, then takes the shape of your ear.
Oh, okay.
And lo and behold, we take the mold, we snap it onto a proprietary driver, and you now have a set of custom molds.
And that is about 30%
lower listening.
Lower. Okay, so if kids want to crank it up, they won't necessarily have that option anymore.
Well, the beauty of it is they don't have to crank it up. They have an acoustic seal in their ear. They get a much more refined sound, much more of a dynamic range. And you can listen to the unit for hours on end without damaging your ears. Okay. That's the concept behind it.
And these will be available at your clinics, which open up in Wal-Mart.
Yes, we're opening up in the new Wal-Mart South Common facility in Edmonton today. We're opening up in Lethbridge as well, Edmonton West, and we'll be entering the Calgary and the Airdrie market in the next several months. And the whole concept behind HearAtLast is to get people to have their hearing tested, to come to one of our facilities. They're convenient, they're bright, they're friendly. We're introducing new products for people with hearing loss to take the stigma away. I mean, I'm not sure if you've noticed, but I'm wearing mine right now. And if you take a look,
actually. Oh, there you are.
So very simply, we have these new devices.
It's very subtle.
That are more like a secret agent type product, but they're designed to deal with the stigma associated with larger products that we're historically accustomed to. And the sound quality is phenomenal. We can deliver these products in a much quicker fashion, and the whole HearAtLast mindset is to make hearing aids and accessories affordable.
Okay.
The average hearing aid in Canada costs $1,800. We're bringing that price down.
Okay, I have to take the opportunity to speak to Walter now. I know we're talking about hearing today, but while you're here, I have to ask you briefly about hockey. Your son's team, the Phoenix Coyotes, are the second worst in the Western Conference right now. The Edmonton Oilers are the worst in the West at the moment. Have you spoken to Wayne about what it's like to coach these young guys who can't play the game as well as he does, or did?
Well, he said there is hope. You just have to keep working at it, and he decided to go with youth. And one of the reasons being, if people are making $10 million, $8 million a year, they're not going to listen to you. They're getting their money anyways. So you start out with people who want to be able to make that $10 million. So he's starting from scratch.
Okay, so watch for the Coyotes in a year or two then. Okay, we'll see. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Having us.
Walter Gretzky and Robert Oswald are with Here at Last.